Tanzania is one of the world's premium tourist destinations and is now actively promoting its biodiversity to attract both national and international tourists. One of the targeted tourist resorts is the Udzungwa Mountains National Park in the Eastern Arc Mountains. The 990 km square of park hosts the magnificent multi-tiered 170 feet high Sanje waterfalls and numerous species of flora and fauna. The park is home to many primate species, 2 of which are endemic to the park and one, the Sanje-crested mangabe, is amongst the world's 25 most threatened primates today. This caught the attention of Prince Bernhard of the Netherlands, the WWF president at the time, and he inaugurates the Udzungwa Mountains National Park. Due to the concerns of the growing degradation of the park's ecosystems and endangered species, the national park officially closed the forests for human activity in 2002. Tensions rose between TANAPA and the people living and using its natural resources for farming, fuel, house building, medicines, and traditional rituals. Associazione Mazingira was established to bridge the gap by giving conservation education to the community in collaboration with TANAPA's neighborhood departments. This is the evolving story of conservation, collaboration, and coexistence.
The Udzungwa Mountains National Park was established in 1992. We have started to work together with the Associazione Mazingira, an environmental NGO based here in Mangura. This NGO has been working with our neighboring community to build capacity on conservation, including alternative energy sources, sustainable livelihood, the development of environmental education programs in local schools.
Here at our Associazione Mazingira, we believe that poverty is an environmental enemy. The key to the successful natural resource management is to empower through education and sustainable income generation.
Here at TANAPA, we aim to achieve a holistic vision of sustainability and effective resources management system. Associazione Mazingira has been working with our local communities to ensure improved livelihood, forestry, farming, livestock keeping, and renewable energies.
Mazingira has been working with schools to empower teachers and pupils on conservation issues. School children are good ambassadors to the whole community. So far, Associazione Mazingira has had outreach to numerous village schools on conservation and sustainable practices.
Tunafanya kazi na shule 18.
We are currently working with 18 schools which border the Udzungwa Mountains National Park. This includes the Manihana Secondary School. We believe it's especially important for these students to learn about conservation, climate change, and the impacts of human activities on the ecosystem because of their close proximity to the park. Historically, all communities surrounding the mountains depended on the forest products. But once it was declared a national park, many laws to protect its resources were established. They need to know about these new policies and understand why they have been put in the place and how their lives and livelihood can be improved by taking alternative approaches to resource use. We address the problems practically by planting trees and distributing them to the community for firewood and other needs. This prevents continued forest degradation. We believe that our work is more impactful by disseminating information in schools because the children are great ambassadors for the wider community. Today, they may be children, but they are future generation, and we need to be sustainable.
Mazingira also began a pilot tree nursery project in Kisawasawa Primary School. The first project aimed to plant trees on quarter-acre plots.
Shamba hili la miti
The school farm was established in 2017. Since then, we have increased the area and planted about 600 trees, but we aim to grow 1,000. Our aim objective is to harvest the tree for timber. The pieces we plant grows quickly, so we are hoping that in the next 5 to 10 years, we can use timber to make essential furniture for the school and can earn money for sale to buy educational materials. This pilot project has also benefited the local community as they can see what we are doing. We are overall very grateful to Associazione Mazingira to train all of us, and we intend to continue working with them and learn more.
And I'm in Standard 5 in Kisawasawa Primary School. I like environmental subjects, so I was very happy when Associazione Mazingira came here. They have taught us how to prepare polythene tubes, seeds, beds, and we have managed to raise about 5,000 seedlings. We have helped prepare the farm and have planted about 500 trees. Not all of them survived though, but those that did are doing well. So, I'm so happy that Associazione Mazingira introduced us to the tree nursery project in our school and want to thank them. Associazione Mazingira has helped build our capacity to provide the theory and practice of environmental education. The theory has included the importance of conservation and solid waste management. The practical work has included the preparation of trees, nurseries, and planting. We even have nurseries outside this class. Together, we prepared a farm and have already planted hundreds of saplings. The children are really engaged on environment issues now and love the practical approach.
Associazione Mazingira owns a main tree nursery which is used by students to learn how to plant and care of different species of seedlings. Schools grow trees to plant in their area, and some trees are given to students to plant around their homestead. Extra seedlings generate funds which can be used for school development. When the national park stopped all human activities, communities found it difficult to find enough firewood for cooking.
Mazingira people have helped us to understand about the environment and respect all its natural resources and how to use them responsibly. For example, trees, mountains, water, houses, and etc. Environmental conservation will help the air stay clean, avoid drought, get enough rainfall, and even how to irrigate our farms. We acknowledge them for help and understing they have given us on environmental conservation.
The fact is that land is finite. It does not increase. With each large-scale development or gazette of a natural parks, the land decreases for the people. It is important, therefore, to manage land and its natural resources to the optimal effect. Our NGO has made a deliberate attempt to help farmers diversify their crops and increase their yields on smaller land areas using proven agroforestry technology. The end objective of these innovations is to promote conservation.
To clearly demonstrate the worst effect of unchecked human activity in Morogoro and the positive effect of tree management in Iringa, Mazingira will take the farmers to see for themselves. We hope these trips will inspire the farmers to practice better conservation.
Associazione Mazingira has developed more than 12 tree nurseries, from which they have distributed over 300,000 seedlings freely to the community. They have also planted woodlots for distribution to the communities to use as a firewood and building materials to discourage them from coming into the park.
Woodlots are planted to enrich the soils and harvest timber. The saplings are planted in lines 4 meters apart from one tree to another in all directions. Periodically, the trees are cut down to a meter high and the looped branches are spread across the earth to decompose. These add nitrogen to the soil. Associazione Mazingira has been training farmers to stop slash and burn techniques and take care of trees to conserve the water catchment area of the national park. At first, this was incentivized by paying them a token amount annually.
We currently have a pilot project on 16 acres of land where we are growing Lucina, a species of tree that can provide a high value of nutrients. If placed on the topsoil, it provides additional nitrogen, which enriches the soil for agroforestry.
A pilot project was implemented on the 16 acres owned by 52 farmers and rolled out in various communities, including Kisawasawa, Ichonde, Mkasu, Kiberege, and Mangula A. Mazingira training has included planting, maintaining and harvesting trees, intercropping, protection against wildfire, as well as the laws and regulation relating to charcoal production and renewable energy. Mazingira advises that approximately 1,000 trees can be planted 20 centimeters apart on 1 acre of the land. The trees grow tall and thin very quickly if they are planted in a zigzag pattern following direction of the sun, example from east to the west.
I've been farming since 2005, but the soil was poor and productivity low. Associazione has taught me allo cropping, which is a type of agroforestry using Lucina trees. I learned how to fertilize the soil by adding nutrients. Beyond increasing my yields for my food crops, there are other advantages of allo cropping. One can use the wool for building materials, cooking fuel, charcoal and cells. It also acts as a windbreak to protect crops during high winds. I highly recommend practicing this kind of farming.
On another pilot project, Mazingira has encouraged Kilombero Valley farmers to practice agroforestry. In this case, planting Kiaya Athotica and Malaysia XL trees will not help to fertilize soil and conserve the water catchment area, but also allows mixed cropping of plants. Crops such as maize, bananas, cereals, and vegetables can be planted in between the trees in a systematic manner. So far, 139 acres has been planted using this technique.
The collaboration has not been without challenges, but together we have created strategies to overcome them. For instance, Associazione Mazingira has introduced agroforest to the communities to help overcome wild animals from raiding crops. We now need to develop land use plans. In participation with our neighboring villages, this helps reducing land-based conflicts and can effectively provide space for farming, gathering, and wildlife corridors.
These participatory land use planning programs are an opportunity to also share concepts of conservation. They will go beyond defining agriculture, grazing area, and wildfire corridors. They will take into account areas set aside for residency, infrastructure, public and community services, and importantly, plan land for future growth.
One of our main activities is to provide education on conservation and protection of the environment. For this to be successful, it is necessary to empower people economically by creating projects which will help them to gain income.
Mazingira has also been working on diversifying livelihood to improve income generally and women and youth in particular. It provided training for various entrepreneur groups referred to as Vikoba About 16 of them joined a financial management group in Magula. The aim was to give knowledge on how to run small business and identify opportunity in the marketplace. An example of this was poultry farming, as 80% of chicken eggs consumed in Kilombero come from Iringa. The poultry program was fully participatory from the beginning. Following entrepreneurial training, groups were given the task of building chicken houses. Associazione Mazingira purchased 300 chickens, provided training to beneficiaries, purchased food and medicine requirements for 3 months. The target for this project is to get an income of 800,000 per month for each group with 150 chickens.
Associazione Mazingira provided assistance to purchase layer chickens, and the eggs we now sell help pay for our children's school expenses.
Tumeamua kwamba mimi na mume wangu tutafute kuku.
Access to affordable electricity can also stimulate the economy. Working with a youth group now registered with the district, Mazingira trains 7 technicians on solar power. This includes understanding the system, power generation and applicability, as well as installation and maintenance. An office was rented and the required tools were purchased to be fully operational.
Nitoe shukrani zangu za dhati.
There are few opportunities for youth in Mangula village, and without this training, I will probably be going to the forest to cut trees for timber or making charcoal. We really appreciate the technical knowledge Mazingira has given the 7 of us on solar power. It has enabled us to provide electricity to other groups at affordable rates. We now know how we can overcome supply even on cloudy days, so we can encourage everyone to take advantages of this instead of relying on TANESCO.
Lakini kwa vijana sisi tuliopata mafunzo haya tumeiva kisawa sawa.
The solar power project facilitated the purchase and installation of 4 solar-powered sewing machines and employed Hawam Suya, a professional tailor in Mwaya village, to train another group of entrepreneurs.
Tunashukuru kwa mradi wa Association Mazingira.
We really appreciate the effort of Associazione Mazingira to introduce us to tailoring. We started with 13 members, 12 women and 1 man, but for personal reasons, some had to drop out. Currently, there are 5 of us. We now own 4 sewing machines, 2 normal machines for making the clothes, and 2 machines specially for decorating them with zigzag pattern.
Huu mradi wametupatia vyeleani 4 vya zigizaga 2 vya kawaida 2.
Dr. Francesco Rovero and Dr. Silvia Rick from Italy undertook research to ensure the conservation and protection of biodiversity in Udzungwa Mountains National Park. They were based in Ecological Monitoring Center and completed their research in 2012. According to the Tanzania Forest Department 2004 data, 400,000 acres of forest are destroyed annually for firewood, charcoal, agriculture, and infrastructure development. Interestingly, the Kuja na Kushoka traders, who also manufactured the charcoal, once calculated that 1 ton of charcoal produced from recycled waste materials is equivalent to 10 tons of charcoal produced from natural trees.
Matumizi ya kuni ni makubwa sana katika hili eneo.
The researchers addressed a range of issues, including strategic solution to avoid the destruction of forest by people who generally depended on firewood used for cooking fuel. With the demand of the firewood increasing in this area, a special order banning charcoal production in the park came into effect in 2006.
Patikana ndani ya hifadhi. Pia sheria ikawa hairuhusu watu kuingia hifadhini kufanya shughuli kama sheria inavyokataza.
As a part of our conservation agenda, we realized that we had to address the villagers' loss of forestry products such as firewood for cooking. Much research was undertaken on the maintaining the biodiversity of Udzungwa National Park, and based on this, we were able to introduce a sustainable energy program. This was aimed to create an understanding of alternative sources of energy without going to the park and destroying the forests. We built mud stoves and fabricated briquettes from plant remains, including rice husks, which were in plentiful supply, as well as sawdust from carpentry workshops.
Mazingira introduced us to Mayon turbo stove, which was originally designed in Mexico and is sold here for 30,000 shillings to 35,000 shillings.
Traditionally, we used to cook on free stones and collect wood from the forest. Mazingira introduced us to those mud stoves. They have a chimney which extracts the smoke from the kitchen, so it's better for our health. There are two sections to cook food and place for the fuel. They are far better than the stones, as a band of firewood lasts weeks, not days, which is the big improvement. Since there has been less destruction of the forest from firewood collection and charcoal production, I have noticed that there are less droughts and less floods.
Zamani ukame ulikuwa mwingi sana, lakini sasa hivi mvua inaanzia kuanzia mwezi wa 7 kwa sababu tunatunza mazingira.
We use rice husks as a fuel for the stove, which has non-luminous flame, so it doesn't destroy cooking pots, and one can cook anything in it like rice, beans, and steamed porridge. Although one needs a big stove for the rice husk, it is crucial for saving the environment and reducing usual charcoal costs. Talking of recycling, one can even use the small particle of the rice husk to enrich the topsoil and get better plant growth.
Associazione Mazingira has also introduced how to make charcoal from organic waste, such as sawdust, rice husk, maize, and other dried plants. The dried materials are put into furnace that can process between 500 kilograms to 1 ton of waste per day. This dry organic waste materials is then mixed with molasses, silt soil, or cassava flour to bind the mixture. 100 kilograms of burnt materials are mixed with 2 liters of molasses and 6 liters of water. The complete mixture is poured in a bucket machine and processed to produce briquettes. It can produce up to 300 kilograms per hour or 2 tons of charcoal per day. This machine saves the forest from destruction.
We produce charcoal through the Uchumi Mazingira group, which helps conserve the environment. It is made from the plant waste, such as sawdust, rice husks, etc. And it is great quality and value for money. We urge people to stop going to the forest to make charcoal from the wood and instead use our type of charcoal, which is more environmental friendly and healthier to use. The Uchumi Mazingira group sells the charcoal on a special offer, so it is affordable to everyone. For example, 3 kilograms are sold for 1,000 Tanzania shillings only, but 1 kilogram costs 400 shillings. The 3 kilogram special charcoal deal is enough to cook for 3 meals per day for a family of 5. We encourage Mangula people across the region to use this charcoal to serve the forest.
I have personally known the NGO Associazione Mazingira since 2014, when I was stationed in Mangula for 3 years. I was transferred to Kilombero headquarters but continued to work with them until now. Its activities on environment are especially needed at this time, as the hydroelectric power dam is being developed at Stigler's George. Conservation has to be prioritized upstreams of the Kilombero Valley, and in Iringa region as tree planting along the river catchment area to ensure the water flows throughout the year. The educational support they provide on environmental issues for schools and communities are equally important. Areas like Kilombero River needs to be reforested as it will ensure the sustainability of hydroelectric power projects around, and suggest that Associazione Mazingira expand their services beyond Mangula.
Hasa uliofanywa na Association Mazingira una mchango mkubwa sana kwenye ufanisi wa mradi wa ufuaji wa umeme kule chini.
Kikubwa zaidi kinachofanya na hii taasisi ya association.
The main activity implemented by Mazingira carries out environmental conservation in Mangula Division of Kilombero District. It has been crucial in giving education to school students and initiating projects to generate improved livelihoods for local people. It has also given them knowledge on the utilization of alternative sources of energy and discourage people from destructing the environment. They have created many nurseries and trained communities on tree planting. Seedlings are freely distributed to institutions such as prisons, masjids, churches, and schools. As an important stakeholder of our district, we are hoping that they will become involved in the green of the Kilombero Valley. The valley is fertile and is particularly significant as it is provide water into the Rufiji River that will eventually feed into the Julius Nyerere hydroelectric dam, which is currently under construction.
Kwa maana jina lake ndio unaoenda kulisha kule Stigler's Gorge kwenye ule mradi mkubwa sana wa bwawa la umeme la Nyerere.
Another area in which Associazione Mazingira has promoted relates to supporting communities to participate in the growing tourism industry. Recently, a state-of-art visitor information center has been built with the support of Trento Science Museum in Italy and Denmark's Natural History Museum. Another unique feature of the center is the ability to monitor the various activity around the park, including research, changes in the Udzungwa ecosystem, wildlife movement, and even a listening room of forest sounds. These are all powered by an equally eco-friendly power system that automatically turns on at 8 a.m. and switches off at 6 p.m.
Associazione Mazingira has been actively engaged in promotion of domestic and international tourism through its schools and community, encouraging tourists to visit the various attractions available in the park. We have also been collaborating with donors in Italy and Denmark through the Copenhagen University and contributing to publications. In another program, we have done school twinning with Mangula and are making short videos, documentaries for the people to see the attractions here.
Tunafanya ushirikiano na wafadhili wetu ambao wako.
The national park has given permission for groups of entrepreneurs to open a market in the park so they can sell their own handcrafted artifact. This is another income stream for the people of Kilombero Valley and bond the park and its local communities more closely. It is our hope to improve the quality of the market in the future so more people come to buy their products.
Initially, Associazione Mazingira provided food and bus fare for 6 months to incentivize the communities to continue selling in the market. Now, in a collaboration with TANAPA, there is a plan to build a kiosk for selling snacks and beverages, which will benefit staff, tourists, and provide an income to the people. There is a further plan to improve the quality of artifacts for sale. Our philosophy is that conservation of the environment will succeed if people are educated and have sustainable livelihoods. So, they will not need to raid the forest for its natural resources. The education we deliver and the activity we do together will help conserve the Udzungwa National Park's sustainability.
Since we've been working with Associazione Mazingira, we have witnessed a substantial reduction in poaching. Gradually, the local species are increasing in numbers, including elephants, which one time were thought to be long gone from the forest.